of like just wait time due to the fact. So whilst I'm doing that, could you please retweet my tweet, what I tweeted, and I will tweet out that I am live if I can find my stuff. The thing's telling me I'm live. It's telling me that I'm live. Oh my god, I'm just all over the place. Okay, tweet. Oh, I guess not tweet, I mean book messages. Like, I wish I could promote this in like install base, but they don't really have, I don't really want to like post stuff in there. Like I don't know if they really allow that. There's no way to really like promote my show or anything at install base, which would be the perfect audience for this show obviously, but I don't want to, you know, get myself banned over there, so I just don't really talk about it that much. I don't think you can, yeah. So some places have like a promotion, self-promotion area, but they don't have one there. I'm live now. Smiley face. I can promote in, I think, like if I went to like OJ's Discord, he has a promotion area because I've done it before. I go to OJ's Discord, he has this self-promotion area. Where is it? Where does self-promotion? Oh yeah, so he has right here. Okay, I'm gonna post it in OJ's Discord. Self-promotion. Oh my god, someone got one of the Sakuna figure. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin is such a great game. You should play that game. It is really good. I think it just went into like PS Plus or something like that, or one of the PS Extra tiers or something. So if you have PS Extra, I think it's called, then you can I think you can just get it there. So please check out that game. It's amazing. Oh, you did? You got the pop-up parade one. Oh, awesome. Is there anywhere else I can self? I put it in OJ's Discord, J2. Where else could I put it? I know, like I wonder if Jeff Grubb has like a self-promo area. Does he? Role request. Well, it doesn't look like it. Here's a whole bunch of stuff there with it. Oh, there's a place called the Promo Zone. Oh yeah, you can. Oh no, it says I need to verify my phone before you can send messages on his server. So I'm like in his server, but I'm not verified apparently. Oh yeah, you can self-promote in his he has a self-promotion area on there. Jeff Grubb's Discord. He has a Discord. You go into the Discord, there's a self-promotion area. Yeah, so maybe this is where I need to put it, but I need to verify my phone. How do I do that? Let me see. You will receive a text message with a verification code. Your phone number can be used to verify one Discord account at a time. Oh yeah, let me do yeah, where's Spencer's Discord? Spencer here. Because he has the awesome SMT logo. Does he have one? Let's see. He has a lot of different a lot of different, nothing that explicitly says promo. So I don't want to post it there since he doesn't have, it doesn't just say like, there's like fan art, fan fiction. He's called this Climax Theatre, by the way. Fan art, fan fiction, media room, original art, Power Records, SMT Network podcast. I don't know, what is all this? DM him. Yeah, I'll do it later because I think he's just at work now. So I'll ask him later if there's a place I can do that. What the hell? There's some funny pictures in there. There's some funny there's funny pictures in his Discord. Let's put it that way. Okay, he doesn't have an explicit self-promo area. Jeff Grubb does, but I need to verify my phone number. So I'm maybe gonna have to do that later. I don't know if I can really do that right now on stream. Well, you can't see this though, can you? Well, what can you see? I don't think you can see anything right now. Right, I'll be back in a couple of minutes and we'll start the show. Can people hear the music and stuff? I'll just check that. We're live. Can I be heard on the stream? On the... There's no sound. We're live. Can I be heard on the stream? Okay, no, maybe there is. Maybe it can be heard. I don't know if the music can be heard. I'll turn it up. Is it too low? It should be coming through on the stream. Alright, back in 5 minutes. I'm back. Right, everyone, please hop over to the live stream. Ignore that noise. Let's go to the live stream. Oh wait, hang on, I left this sound on the whole time. Oh my god, that must have sounded awful. Sorry about that. I didn't know it was running! I didn't know! I saw you! Maybe DM him. Spencer. He's working though. Like, he's not gonna answer right now, is he? Maybe this media room is the self-promotion area. It seems like people posting videos and stuff. So maybe this is where you can put stuff. Spencer, if you watch this archive, please tell me where. Oh no, this is the self-promote area. Okay, never mind, I found it. I found it, it's this media room. DMs. No, it's alright, I found it. It's definitely here because people have put their own videos in here. On YouTube. Okay, I dropped it in there. In order to put it in Jeff Grubb's Discord, I have to like verify my phone, which is going to take me too long to do right now, probably. Okay, let's test my levels out. 1 2 1 2. How do I sound? Can you hop into the live show and let's check out that sound? See how it is. So I cannot hear. I cannot hear it. Okay, I'm hopping over to the live show, so I'll catch you on the other side. Bye bye, thanks for coming out to the pre-show. J2, hop over please. Thank you. I wonder where else I could. Yeah, I mean, I guess I need to like figure out where I can like self-promote. I guess I could do it in my friend's Discord, but I don't think they're gonna come over here. Game suggestions. Yeah, let's figure this out like later. Okay, so voice is low, music is low. Oh my god, music and voice is low. Oh no. Is that better? Voice is low. Well, voice can be sorted out quite easily. Hopefully. The music can go, hang on. The music can go down. Music doesn't have to be that loud at all. There we go. Music is down lower. Much lower. Right? Do, do, do. What about now, Vinnie Mac? How's the sound? Much better. Awesome. I should return that down a little bit as well. So it's coming like my voice. 1 2 1 2. Let me check the gain. Again. When you have this gain up too loud, it like has everything else. Oh my god, David's got JRPGs here! I can't believe it! We are blessed! We are blessed with the royalty that David got JRPGs! Hello! Happy Zelda Day! I hit red bars because David turned up! Only David can make me hit red bars. Welcome. Okay, let's get started. We start the main show. Oh wait, have I got the main thing? Oh god, I haven't even got my thing on. 1 second. I messed up. I messed up. We don't have anything on there because I dummy. I don't have the screen. Why am I not even anything there? Where is it? Here we go. Never mind. J2! Hello! Welcome! Welcome everybody. Happy Zelda Day since everyone... a lot of people excited about Zelda, I guess that's why we're playing the Zelda Lo-Fi in honour of Zelda Day. Normally it'd be the Final Fantasy VII Lo-Fi, which I really like anyway. Don't know anyone else, but I like it. But this mix is pretty good. I normally vet the mixes before I will play it, and this one I had listened previously, and I really liked it, so it's cool. Welcome Vinnie Mac, David, J2. Hopefully you'll get a few other people with over here as well. So let's turn this down a little bit. We have 2 weeks of Famitsu sales to go over because there was a Golden Week holiday in Japan, so basically we don't get the data for that week, and it just comes together with the data for last week. So we have 2 weeks of software sales, which they've broken down into 2 different charts, but I believe they have not broken down the hardware, unless they have done it since I last looked. Let's turn off the Zelda. Unless they did it since I last looked, which I don't think they did. Oh no, maybe they did actually. Hang on. No, scratch that. Oh no, they didn't. This is just what install base has done. So what install base has done, they've just divided it by 2. So obviously there wasn't this exact sales for each week. That makes no sense. They've just divided it by 2, basically. And the screenshot I have from before, it's not divided yet. It's not divided. Okay, so we've got that to talk about. And we have the Nintendo financials, and then we'll just have a bit of fun and talk a little bit about Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, since that was obviously quite a big launch. There's been quite a bit. Well, Nintendo made a big fuss of it anyway. They had I didn't see the live stream because it was on really late. It was like US time, the Nintendo of America stream, and it was just, my understanding, it was just like a gameplay. I did see the screen. They had a big screen in Times Square in New York. They had the big video billboard. They had the big screen up there. I saw that. That was pretty cool. And so it's quite a big quite a highly anticipated game. I myself did get maybe there was more than one collector's edition. I don't know. Maybe I got more than one. So yes, so I did get a collector. If we look at my Twitter, I did put, where is it now? Here, I did tweet this out. This is like, I got this big box arrived from Nintendo, It was just like it was a big long kind of rectangular box, and I'm like, what the hell, is huge. But yeah, they put it in two different. But you'd think that the Pro Controller would be in here as well, and I wasn't able to get that. It was sold out in the whole UK. It's completely sold out. I've been looking for it. Me and Jago, because Jago also lives in the UK, we have been looking. We have not been able to get. And this Jago, did you get one and not tell me? I'll not be happy if you got one. Don't tell me. So yeah, this is the box, and it came with like these little extra goodies, which is pretty cool. This coin and luggage tag, and I had the amiibo. I got the amiibo, but I managed to get a Pro Controller, and I made a little video as well, which you can watch, of me opening up the box. So yeah, I did get that, and I have not, even though I did get the game like early, I got it yesterday. Amazon sent the game to me yesterday. But I was not able to play yesterday because I was busy. And anyway, I decided that I didn't listen. I'll admit, I did not play the Breath of the Wild DLC. I did not play. I beat Breath of the Wild like when it came out years ago. And then I bought the DLC and just never got around to playing it. So I want to play that DLC first before I play Tears of the Kingdom. Now that sounds dumb. So like, why don't you just go play Tears of the Kingdom? Just go play Tears of the Kingdom. Why don't you do it? Because I want to play the DLC. I want to play it. And the DLC, I heard that DLC is not long now. I guess I should have played it ages ago, but you know how it is. It just got fell by the wayside. I just forgot. Just other things came up. Ignore my phone. Just ignore that. Don't listen to it. In fact, why is it making noise? I need to turn it off. I need to turn it off. Oh, how do I stop it making noise? Okay, like that. There we go. Right. Let's have a look in this chat. So David says, I want to hear your thoughts on Tears of the Kingdom's sales potential versus Breath of the Wild. It's been an interesting discussion over the last 3 weeks with this topic. It has indeed. So I'm not sure if you're talking about just in Japan or worldwide, but I'm going to assume you mean both. So it's interesting because quite often with sequels, they don't sell as much as the game is following up. Worldwide, okay, worldwide. And we do have a history with Zelda in particular, where follow-up games or games that are on what happens to be on the same system. I guess there was only one that really had an actual sequel, but games that happen to be on the same system, the one that came at the end of the system's life didn't perform as well. So, obviously you had Ocarina of Time and the Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask didn't sell as much as Ocarina of Time, and then you had those cross-gen titles, which I believe would be Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. I think they were both from two systems. Is that right? Twilight Princess was also in GameCube, and then no wait, hang on. It was also it was GameCube and Wii. Is that right? And then I got that wrong. What, some of these cross-gen? What were the ones that were cross-gen? Twilight Princess was on GameCube and Wii. Or maybe it was just Twilight Princess was on GameCube and Wii, and then Skyward Sword was only on Wii. Or maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, basically, I think Skyward Sword came at the end of the Wii's life and didn't perform as well. So there is a history there of that happening. The circumstances surrounding Breath of the Wild and its sequel Tears of the Kingdom is a little bit different because of the fact that Breath of the Wild had such explosive sales and has sold by far more than any other Zelda games. It's like almost 30 million now. J2 says Twilight Princess was a cross-gen game. Okay, so it was Twilight Princess. Okay, that was on GameCube and Wii, right? So I don't have the exact sales in front of me right now, but basically, so what a lot of people said is that the sequel, Tears of the Kingdom, would not be able to sell as much as Breath of the Wild. Also, people said that Breath of the Wild, obviously, it hasn't stopped selling. It's still selling right now. It hasn't stopped selling. So, like, some people were saying, well, okay, I think it's going to sell, it's going to top out at, like, people said, like, it's not going to get to 40 million, it'll be like 35 million. And I'm thinking it's going to be higher than that, but the fact that it's selling, like, it's still selling, like, 4 million a year. So the chances are it's going to end up getting to 40 million. So then that brings us to Tears of the Kingdom. So there were people that said before, obviously the game was leaked and everyone was playing it, or some people were and stuff like that, but we didn't have the reviews in yet. And there were some people saying, I don't know who, maybe some people were trolling and that it's not gonna score as high as Breath of the Wild, which I guess technically it didn't. But we'll get into that. It's basically almost the same as Breath of the Wild. It's currently 96 on Metacritic and then 97 on OpenCritic, right? So if they said it wouldn't score as high. Now, I think high review scores like that do make a difference as well, because historically we've seen that. Because we have an example from, was it last year? Elden Ring, that came out and scored 97, a lot of 10s across the board. And that game had explosive sales. In fact, we just got an announcement from Bandai Namco, I think it was like via their financials recently, that they sold over 20 million. It sold over 20 million, which is absolutely amazing. By far their biggest success. Both Bandai and From Software. I don't think, has Bandai had a game sell more than 20? Maybe they have, I don't know. Maybe one of these Dragon Ball games or something. So I think that exponentially increases the sales potential, plus the fact that the game is releasing on an install base of, was it 125 million? The original game Breath of the Wild essentially released on an install base of 0, basically. I know it was on Wii U as well, but it was kind of, technically 0 when it released, and has continued selling all this time and is almost at 30 million. So I think that definitely, these high reviews, I think those review scores do. Oh, was Elden Ring a 96? Okay, well, it was not, I thought it was 97, 96, well, whatever, it's basically the same, right? So people were definitely like, they heard the review scores, they heard it reviewed amazingly. I'm talking about Elden Ring here, and like, oh my god, I need to go and try this. Get people, a load of people that had never played a Souls game before went and played Elden Ring. We know that because it sold way more than Dark Souls 3, which is like 10 million or something like that. So, and that's lifetime for Dark Souls 3, which is, it generally is not selling like that now, right? So I do think that you could say I'm being maybe a little bit bullish, but I do think the sales potential for Tears of the Kingdom is that it can match or exceed Breath of the Wild, in my opinion. And we're going to go over the sales and see how explosive it's been. And for example, when there's been people obviously keeping an eye on this and looking at all the different Amazons around the world, looking at different e-shops around the world and stuff like that, and it's like number 1 on everything. It's been there for a while. We had the I think Amazon's removed them now, but you used to be able to see like if you searched for a certain game, it'd come up and say how many, like rounded off to it'd be rounded off to units of 100 of how many had sold within either a month or a week. And it was weird. It changed. It was different depending on whether you was looking on what browser and what device, or use desktop or mobile or whatever. But people on the install base collated these sales, and it's the number 1 best. Kika is as usual over in the Discord site. So this is the number 1 best-selling spoon. Yeah, we've talked about this. Like, for whatever reason, Amazon Japan has their pre-order bonus is a spoon, and there's like loads and loads and loads of SKUs which we can look at in a bit where it has the spoon. And I don't know, but we had Spencer from the SMT network. He joined us for the pre-show, and he shared a picture of his Zelda goodies. He got like the full he got the full caboodle. He got like everything he possibly could get. And he got like, one of the places in the States was given like a piece of wood. It's like a wooden plaque with a design, I guess a design print, like maybe I think it's etched or something into this piece of wood. So I don't know, I guess like these different stores are trying to come up with like interesting pre-order bonuses. So yeah, so we can go into a little bit more about the sales potential of Tears of the Kingdom, but I honestly think the install base coupled, you'd think for example, David, you'd think that piracy and all that would reduce the sales of what happened or it leaked. If anything, that got people more hyped up, you know. And Nintendo's actually lucky that the piracy is has a minimal impact on the sales, because of the fact that it's like the first 20 million Switches are like hackable, and then Nintendo fixed the issue. But most people that have those 20 million Switches have no idea. So in order to get, if you don't have one, because you have to go and find that initial model, you have to go and look on eBay, and also there's people that know that, oh, well, this is one hackable, it's sold more. Oh, or you have to have a PC powerful enough to emulate all this, and most people don't, and most people they just don't want to be faffing around with emulation and stuff, and trying to, even though it's not technically that difficult. But, you know, I said this before, it's the same reason why people sign up for Spotify and Netflix and all these things, when you can easily go and pirate. You can go and pirate all those songs and all those TV shows and everything extremely easily. So why do people pay for Netflix and Spotify and stuff? It's because of convenience. It's more convenient to just pay it and just do that, instead of being faffing around with all these different like torrents or downloads or illegal like streaming sites and what have you. So let's take a look at these Famitsu sales. Can everybody see this on the screen? So we have to look at last week first. I believe this one here is last week. So we have to look at so this is the Famitsu sales that we look at, is always like the previous week, and it goes up until, oh man, someone could this okay, so this goes up until the 30th. What day of the week is that? Let me check my calendar. The 30th of April was a Sunday. So it goes up to Sunday. Oh, what? Jago got the program. Jago, send me the link right now. What? Do you have a link to it? Jago, what are you doing? What's he talking about? Do you have a link to that? He's like, oh yeah, got the Pro. Did you get the Pro Controller, Jago? Why are you shouting like that? Oh, you didn't. I thought you got it. You gave me a little fright. He's like, oh yo, got the Pro Controller. Oh, I'm reacting to Torchwood. Oh yeah, Spencer got it. Do you see his little video? Look at his little video. The Pro Controller looks better than I thought it did actually. It looks even better close up than I even thought it did. Okay, that's just Jago giving me a gift. Jago, please, I know it's sexist, but he's like, Jesus, he's so sexy, all caps. Jago, if you see a link to that Pro Controller, DM me immediately. I will abandon what I'm doing. I will abandon this show, and I will go and pre-order that Pro Controller. Give me a link immediately. If you see, I need to get it. Okay, we've got these 2 weeks of Famitsu sales, right? So this goes up until the 30th. So yeah, they go up until a Sunday, but we don't get the sales until the following Thursday, right? So that's from the 24th. Wait, let me check my calendar. It's from the 24th to the 30th. Yeah, that's a week. So yeah, it runs from Wednesday to Sunday. So that's why we get it on. It runs from a Wednesday to a Sunday. So they stopped collecting the sales on the or no, or they start from a Wednesday. I guess they start from, if it's the 24th to the 30th. Am I looking? No, I'm looking at the wrong month. Hang on. April, sorry. Sorry, the 30th was on a Sunday. The 24th was on a Monday. Oh, it literally goes from Monday to Sunday then. But we don't get the sales until like a Thursday. So yeah, we're always looking at the sales from the previous week basically. So even though I say this week, I mean the previous week because of the way it works. Okay, my tweet went out on Twitter, right? My tweet went out on Twitter. Okay, if you could please retweet the I'm live tweet that I did. Oh, where is it now? Please, let's get more people in here. Not the pre-show one. Yeah. Is David still here? David, can you please retweet that? Is 12k good for... No. 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 Are you out of your mind? Not even in Japan is that good. Hang on, did it release the previous... No, this is the previous week. No, that's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Are you kidding me? For a brand new AAA game, and Star Wars, which hasn't... It's not even like Star Wars is not that popular in Japan. It's... I understand, my understanding, it is fairly popular. No, this is absolutely terrible, Jago. This is abysmal. I don't know how to describe to you how bad this is. This is next gen only, so there was no PS4. You remember, there's no PS4 version of this game, right? Am I correct in that? There's no PS4 version of this game. This is absolutely terrible. No, it's really, 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 really bad. Like, you could get... So, a Western game that sells well would be, like, over 100,000. In my opinion. But this is terrible. What did the previous game sell? Let's see if we can do a search on here. For Star Wars... What was it called again? Jedi... what's the first one called? Jedi or something? Fallen Order. Here we go. Oof. Okay, so the first one had first week sales of 26,000. So it's halved from when that came out in 2019. So look, we have it here. It's halved since then. It was 26,000 first week. 55,000 total, so it was an Xbox One. But I guess there was no physical. There's probably no physical, so that's probably what that is. So let's see. I'll give you an example of a game, like a Western game that's like would sell better than that. Let's look at Horizon Zero Dawn. Not down. Dawn. Let's see what that sold. Right, so can you see, like, even this, like, obviously these kind of Western games don't sell as much in Japan in general, but you can see even Horizon Zero Dawn, this is the original release that was on PlayStation 4, sold over 100,000, 109,000, nearly 110,000. So, and then what? Oh, give me a more recent one. What's a more recent Western game that wasn't like crazy bad? I'm trying to think. There's no point looking at God of War is like super unpopular in Japan. That's why I compared it to Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon. Oh no, it's trying to search in that thing. Dummy, don't search in there. Forbidden West. Hogwarts. Yeah, that did okay. It wasn't over 100,000. So even this one sold less. So it was. Oh no, you have to add these. Sorry, you have to add these together. So it's 43,000 and then 48,000 first week. So it's under 100k. That's 91. Is it 91,000? Around 91,000 for those two, PS4 and PS5. Hogwarts, yeah, we can look at Hogwarts, I guess. Oh no, I keep putting it in the wrong search box. That's all about 70,000 or 75,000. Of course, now you have to factor in there is a PS4 version, but the original release of it, because obviously they did this weird staggered release thing. So the original one is it was 67,000, which everyone's like, oh my god, it's amazing! Japan is taking over Japan. Right now, I'm sorry to have to do this. I am sorry, but it has to be done, and I think you know what's coming. People say, oh, is so and so popular in Japan, and it give me that what is popular in Japan, and I'll give you what the bar is. This is the bar that I've set. This is the bar now. Okay, this is it's set there. I'm putting the bar there. It's down. It's not coming back up. This is a game called Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. This is a port of an old ass Wii game. Okay, this is not a new game. Kirby is not an S tier Nintendo franchise, right? It's just not. Kirby's like B tier, okay? And this old ass Wii port sold 189,000 in the first week. This is the bar. And people ask me, is it popular in Japan? Did that do well in Japan? This is the bar that I've set now. The bar is down. It's here. It's Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Jago, I'm not arguing about whether this is a port or not. Jago! No! You stop this. Jago's like, oh no, it's not a port. I don't care. This is a Wii game. This is not a new game. It's a Wii game. Alright? So stop it. It's a Wii game. It's not a new game. This is the bar. Alright? You want to know what is popular, what does well. This isn't even in the realm. This game is not even in the realm of like mega hit in Japan. Right? I'll give you an example of something in Japan that was a mega hit recently. It's not Kirby. It's not a Kirby game. This is a mega hit. Two together, it's almost 300,000 first week. You have the PS4, 188,000, and the PS5, 90,000, which I think is still to date the highest launch of a game on PlayStation 5, because Hogwarts Legacy didn't manage to eclipse it. That was 67,000, right? That was 67,000. What is Jago typing in this goddamn chat? Jago's like giving me Kirby gifts and giving me the red flag or something. I don't know what this is. Oh no, it's Kiko posted this. Yeah, Forbidden Land was good. I really liked it. I 100%ed that game. I really liked it. I haven't played Return to Dreamland yet though. I will do. So this game Elden Ring managed to achieve huge sales in Japan, even though there's been declining sales on PlayStation in general. It still managed to achieve huge sales despite that. So here's the PS4 version, and here's the PS5 version. This is what I would consider to be a mega hit. You've got to be selling like way over 200,000. This was almost. It wasn't quite 300,000 first week, but not bad, and it was in the chart for a while. This is about as well as a PS5 game could do at the moment. We have to wait and see with Final Fantasy 16, of course. We're all very curious of what's going to happen there. Some of us think it's going to launch under 100k. Those people are wrong. They think that it will not. What did you say? We need a version of Elden Ring on the next Switch. Let me tell you something about Bandai Namco. Alright. Bandai Namco could not give two flying figs about putting certain games on even the next Switch. Even the next Switch, they don't care. Bandai Namco be like, oh, we're making a One Piece game, a turn-based One Piece game that kind of apes the style of Dragon Quest XI. And, you know, the One Piece demographic is kind of this, that demographic. They're kind of younger. They're reading the Shonen Jump or whatever. I know. Let's not release that on the platform that has 90% of the market in Japan, where all everyone is. Let's release it not there, everywhere but there, and wonder why the word is still I don't know. That's Bandai Namco. So let's go for it. So that, like I said, this is terrible. This is terrible sales. There's no way of cutting it. That is it's not good. It's not even like it's a little bit bad. It's absolutely abysmal. That sales. Let me go back to Star Wars. Oh my god, where's this one? This one here. Yeah. Even if you go, like I said, even if you go back to the previous game, it's less than half of that. It's even less than half of that of the previous game. So that's terrible. It's terrible. Even for this game, this franchise, it's terrible for even a Western game that is PlayStation 5 exclusive in Japan. It's terrible because we just saw Hogwarts Legacy 67,000, you know, and we've seen Horizon Forbidden West. How much was that? Was 80 some? I can't remember what it was now. 80 something thousand. So this is absolutely abysmal. It's terrible, and yeah, it's not, like I said, it's not like Star Wars is unpopular. My understanding is it's fairly, you know, popular in Japan. Someone have to fill me in on that, but it's not like it's not unpopular. It's enjoyed popularity. I think a lot of the movies did really well. I think that people in Japan just don't like this game. They don't really care about this game. Don't care about this game series. They're just not feeling it there. There's anything I can say, because if we look at number 2, it's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with 11.2 thousand. Now I'm probably missing all your stuff that you've. Oh my god, I missed a whole bunch of chats. Even Joy, welcome. Oh my god, okay. Let me pop out this chat. I'll pop out this chat, and then because I'm not like a professional streamer that has like 2 screens. I probably should. I do have this old monitor, like I said before, but it's one of those ones that needs to be connected up with the pins. You know, the old pin connector thing, which I can't remember what it's called. Are you saying it's really popular? Is Star Wars really popular in Japan? You're saying it's really popular, not just a bit popular. It's really popular. What's that here? EA is mid. Well, that's not really news, David. That's like an established thing. EA is mid. No, but to be fair, I do hear that those Jedi Star Wars games are good. All their money is going towards Zelda. What, the entire population of Japan? Or the entire population of the world? Who? It's Fallen Order. He's all reminding me. It's Fallen. I can't remember. Okay, so you wanted me to look at God of War Ragnarok did not perform well in Japan. Japan could not give 2 flying figs about God of War, that's for sure. I think this might even have had a bundle at launch. How's it Ragnarok? I don't like that. Is it Ragnarok? Oh my god, I don't know. It's not like that! It's not like that! I'm just with God of War. It's going to bring up every God of War game. It's going to bring up everyone. Okay, God of War Ragnarok, right here. That was on PS4 as well, right? Okay, so here's the PS5 version. As you can see, 2 more SKUs. What are the other SKUs? Oh, okay. We don't have to worry about these because they don't show up in the charts. They collate them together. Famitsu puts them all together. So yeah, God of War Ragnarok. First week is 29,000 on the PlayStation 5. PlayStation 4, 11,000. So that's not good. And I told you what the bar is. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. 189,000 is the bar for something being popular in Japan. For a Western game, I think that popularity, it's like, if it's like 100k plus, in my opinion. Some might disagree, but that's kind of how I feel about it. So God of War Ragnarok, no. I think the first, I mean 2018, God of War maybe did a bit better. Yeah, it did. It was 50,000. But you have to remember, this is in 2018, when PlayStation's market share was a bit higher than it is now. So that, look, this is also in PS2 because it has the same name. It's funny. Yeah, so like that's this sort of numbers not going to happen. Plus you have to factor in there's a digital increase. There's a digital increase, but it's not, in my opinion, it's not so dramatic that it can account for like these plummeting software numbers. So just, oh yeah, they did make those Star Wars anime. Some anime took from Star Wars. Yeah, I don't mean like anime that was inspired by Star Wars, but there's also those Star Wars animes they made recently for Disney, right? Didn't they really make for the Disney Plus? It's really popular in Japan. So yeah, I guess they did made a, yeah. So this is basically what that software sales tells you, is that either they don't like the game, they don't like the gameplay style, or it's just not on a platform where Star Wars fans are. That's what that tells you. Probably both. Probably a combination. Okay. So we're going to look again for the from the 24th of April to the 30th of April. Star Wars #1 launched PlayStation 5. Abysmal sales. This is absolutely. You think this is what people say to me. This is what gets me joking. People say, "Oh well, this thing is in the chart. It's at the top of the chart. It did really well. You don't know what you're talking about, Jodie. It did really well. It's like, how can it not be? It's a game that does. They say it's about MPD. I guess it's not called MPD anymore. Oh, Studio Ghibli made a Star. Oh yeah, they did. Or they was made. Is it already out, that Star Wars short that they made with Gru, the baby Yoda, or whatever it is? Yeah. Okay. So no, you're right. It does. This just tells you that either this game, that I like the game, or it's not on the right platform, and then it's just not going to work out. Now, I'm not saying that they need to put Star Wars Jedi Survivor on the Switch. It could be that this game just cannot run on the Switches, which is more than likely. But they could put a different, some other game they could make for the Switch for Japan. Now, we did have, like, for example, Warner Brothers recently said that they gave one of the reasons of why they've put making a Switch version of what's it called, Hogwarts Legacy. They put that reason is that they in Japan, that they think it's going to do well in Japan. So I don't know whether it probably will do, because the other two. I don't know, what did the PS4 SKU do? Yeah, so the other ones did well. So it probably should do well. But yeah, that's what it tells you. So I'm not saying they need to put this exact game on the Switch. They could put some other game on there, or just do something else. They could figure out whether it's EA, and they're not going to do it. So they are just to be satisfied with these sales. There's a bit more of digital, but not much. I mean, it's not much more. Even if it was 50, if it's like, oh, it's 100% more on digital, that would still only be 24,000, 25,000, which is only what like the first game, first week sales, so it's still abysmal. It doesn't make any difference. Even if you say, oh, the digital's so high, it's 100%. Add 100% to that, it's still abysmal. So yeah, okay. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe number 2, that's 1.2 thousand. 11.2 thousand. Number 3 is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with 9.6 thousand. Here we have this old ass report. No, I'm joking. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe at number 4, 9.5 thousand. Yep, a game. I don't know what this is. Let's use Google Translate. Google Translate. After all, even in games, my youth romantic comedy is wrong. Finish. Well, that is a great translation of that. This is a Major's visual novel. It's going to be a visual novel, right? This is Major's games always. Visual. They pretty much only make visual novels, I think. And that apparently sold out. This just came out, right? Yeah, apparently this sold out. 8.13 thousand. Now, you got to remember that these are niche games. Even in Japan, some of them do really well, some visual novels and stuff, but this is kind of, a niche one. And I don't know if this is a new franchise or what, but yeah, that's what it did. It kind of sold out on Switch. So we got number 6, Minecraft, 7.1 thousand. Number 7, interesting title here. This is a re-release of East Memoir Alpha Felgana. So they sold almost 7,000, 6,920, with the sell through pretty good at 60 to 80%. You have here an orange bar, so that kind of tells you this is what was ordered for this game was not that far off what it ended up selling, the sell through. So it's not like, it doesn't seem like Nihon Falcon thought this was going to do, or the retailers whatever thought it was going to do absolute gangbusters. Whether this is a number that they are happy with, I don't know. This seems kind of low to me. But maybe, at the end of the day, it's a remaster of a really old game. I'm not sure when this game came out, if it's an old PC game or it was an old PS1 game, or maybe it's from the Super Famicom or something. I don't know. It's an old game. So, yeah. I'm not sure. We'd have to wait and see. I think... Oh, no, it won't be on there. I think Nihon Falcon just did their financials, but they probably won't... Because this just came out, so they won't be talking about this one. So... What the heck is that translation? I know, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's bad, right? What does it say in Japanese? Let's have a look. Oh, okay, it's because of the last kanji on here. Yeah, I don't know. This first part's... I can only read the first part, but there's a whole bunch of kanji in here that I can't... It's this kanji. There's like one rogue kanji, which I think this normally means wait, look, I don't know what kanji this is, but it kind of looks like the one for selling stuff, but I don't know why that's like that. It's kind of weird, yeah. So that's how it's translated. I don't know why it's like that. Number 8, Splatoon 3, 6.8 thousand. Number 9, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 5.6 thousand. Number 10 is the Rockman or Mega Man. It's got a completely different name in Japanese. Okay, it's called the Battle Network Collection in the West, but here it's the Advanced Collection. I guess that's for Game Boy Advance. 5.4 thousand. And I think what's interesting, I think that might have dropped off the chart the following week. Here's the PS4 version of that visual novel with the weird name. So this one sold 4.9 thousand. Again, it looks like it's completely sold through. So there were probably, already a fan base for this game that was already you know, maybe they pre-ordered a lot, or so yeah, to get it selling out like this. So they might restock that. Interesting. We have Breath of the Wild here, which is yeah, 2,167,000. Minecraft Legends, which did not do well. Which did not do well at all. That released like the previous week, okay, and so its total is 17,000. That's not good. Another Otome game, visual novel, The Fortune Princess of Temirana and the Knights of Misfortune. I don't know. This is Idea Factory. Okay, 3.4 thousand. Resident Evil 4, the PS4 version is still hanging around. Was there anything else new? Any of these new games? Oh, this is new. After Image Deluxe. I have no idea what this is. H2 Interactive. Who's H2 Interactive? I haven't even heard of that. I don't know what that is. Anyone know? Number 28. Okay, so that's about it. I want to look. So you see, Super Mario Odyssey hadn't been in the chart for a while. So you'll see, actually, that a load of Mario games actually came into the chart because of the Mario movie releasing in Japan, which, if you remember, released later in Japan. It released over Golden Week. Let's see. Vinnie Mac says Falcom just had their quarterly reports and they're extremely happy with all the sales of their products in the West as well. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. David Cast JRPG says Battle Network surprised me with its worldwide sales. I was not expecting such high sales. Do you know who else was surprised? Capcom. Capcom was just absolutely flabbergasted. They were caught with their pants down. They did not the game with the reason it's dropping out the charts like this is because they did not produce enough physical. There literally is not enough physical versions of it. And if you look at the previous sales of the previous Mega Man collections they had, I guess like the classic Mega Man ones, they didn't perform anything anywhere near as well as the Battle Network collection. So I think it's just the reason is that there was so many people that wanted those games, and they were probably like pretty. I mean, they must have been pretty popular, right, originally. And there were so many people that wanted their games. And not only that, from what I've heard, I mean, I don't have the collection. My understanding is that they actually put the collection together really well. They put some of the content that was Japan only, some Japan only stuff in there. They put online connectivity. I think you can battle online and stuff like that. So I think that's contributed to it. I think it was just a big fan base for those. I think that's what happened. If I had to put a reason. David says another reason for Capcom not to want to go back to Ace Attorney. No, they will go back to Ace Attorney because the one that hadn't released outside Japan before didn't that do really well. The thing is with Capcom is that they're like, okay, Resident Evil, we're back, we're doing well. Resident Evil's doing well. Monster Hunter's doing well, and what else is that? So they do have a load of abandoned nothing. And oh yeah, Street Fighter 6 is going to do. I think it will do better than Street Fighter 5. I know that one had some, or people had some issues with it, and it maybe didn't perform as well as it could have done. I think Street Fighter 6 people are a lot more happy with from the the beta testing and so on. I think they're more happy with it. But yeah, I think Capcom. I mean, I know they're making a new Dragon's Dogma. Okay, so they're making a new Dragon's Dogma. They've made that. Or they are making, supposedly, still that weird game that has no release date. What's it called again? Where they had that weird trailer and a Sony showcase like years ago. What's it called? Oh god, my mind's gone blank. And it was like a CG thing with like a girl and an astronaut and like a robot cat or something. What was it called? I can't. My mind's gone blank. What that was called? Pragmata. That's it. Thank you, Jago. Pragmata. You just can't remember. How would I remember a word like that? That's not a word that you an everyday word that you would know. Is that even a real word, or is it a made up word? I don't even know. Pragmata. So yeah. And then last year they delayed it and they said 2023. No, yeah, Exoprime. I wasn't thinking of Exoprime. Exoprime was like their live service type thing they're making, right? But I was thinking of Pragmata. So that is a brand new IP, but we haven't seen anything yet. So I feel like other than Pragmata, so the ones where like it's new IP, we're gonna know they've got Pragmata and Exoprimal, but the rest of it is like a whole bunch of like tried and true. This is working. Let's just and you know what? It's doing really well for Capcom. It's working for them. Monster Hunter's doing really well. Resident Evil's doing really well. Street Fighter seems to be pragmatic. Okay, you're right. Pragmatic is a word, but Pragmata seems to be a portmanteau of pragmatic and stigmata. That's what it sounds like to me. I might be wrong, but it sounds like pragmatic and stigmata, a portmanteau of those. And stigmata is like it's this like Catholic religious thing of like when people believe that they have like the holes in their hands from like Jesus that Jesus had or something like that. It's something I can't think the exact definition, but stigmata, something like that. I remember there was this film called Stigmata. It was something like it might have been a horror film actually. There was a film called Stigmata. I remember watching that. I don't know if anyone remembers that. It's like people they have the holes in their hands and their feet. Well, they don't really have them, but they believe they have these holes. So yeah, I don't know if that's what it is. There wasn't really any religious imagery in that. It's just me guessing there wasn't any religious imagery in the trailer, I guess. So it's probably not that. So that's last week's. Now we're going to go on to this week's software sales. We did have the PS4 version of Hogwarts Legacy release, and yeah, it performed less well than I believe it would have done if it had released side by side with the PS5 version, because this is like less than half. Let's see, yeah, it's less than half, because the PS5 version was 67,000. So yeah, it's less than half. But it did fairly well. Sell-through is fairly good. We'll have to see with legs. It might be okay with legs, but it's less than half. So I definitely think this would have performed better if it had released side by side. Because we saw some games where they were cross-gen and released side by side. Like we just looked at what's it called, Horizon Forbidden West, which was almost the same on both platforms of PS4 and PS5. So I think this would have done better if it had been side by side. Now, this staggered release thing is really, I can't think of a publisher before that has like staggered 3 different SKUs out like that of the same game. Like, I can't think of that happening recently, or such a staggered release. But obviously this is what WB wanted to do, and they're quite enthused about this Switch version. So I say infused, they seem to be infused about it selling well, and they in particular did mention Japan. I don't know if anyone has a link to that article, or there was some interview or something where they specifically mentioned it selling in Japan, they thought it was going to sell well in Japan. So that remains to be seen, how well it does in Japan. So the Switch version. Obviously we have the PlayStation 4 version here, almost 32,000. Number 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and we have to go down the chart. We're going to see like there are definitely Mario and Mario adjacent games that are in the chart. We have this Wii port. No, it's called Kirby Wii in Japan, right? It's called Kirby Wii in Japan. There you go. It's a Wii port. Jago gets really mad when I say that. Whatever, I mean Milestone. You know what I mean. It's not a new game. Anyway, Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe. I'm going to play this game soon. I'm going to play it soon. 17.7 thousand. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet 13.7 thousand. Number 4. Number 5 Splatoon 3 11.4 thousand. Number 6 Minecraft 11.1 thousand. Number 7 Super Smash Bros. Ultimate 10.9 thousand. Number 8 Nintendo Switch Sports 8.7 thousand. Number 10 Mario Party Superstars 8.6 thousand, or nearly almost 8.7 thousand. Jaco's shining in the Discord away. Jacob says, "I'm glad you corrected yourself before I had to intervene." And it's an angry emoji with smoke coming out of his nose. Yeah. And then we see Breath of the Wild moved up into the number 10. So this is like the week before the new game comes out. This is moved to number 10. 7.1 thousand. Now, we're going to look at all these Mario and Mario adjacent games that are in the chart. And this is definitely because of the Mario movie. Because look what's happened. Look what has come back to haunt us. New Super Mario U Deluxe is here. Jedi Star Wars Survivors dropped down. Sold an additional 3.8 thousand. 16.7 thousand. So not great for that game, unfortunately. Mario Odyssey. Now this definitely, it was in the chart last week, but that, again, that was the Mario movie bump, but it hadn't been before that. It hadn't been in the chart since the New Year's holiday, so it hadn't been in the chart for ages. It's not like, for example, Breath of the Wild is consistently in the charts, but Mario Odyssey is not consistently in the charts. That's definitely the Mario movie bump. And then Super Mario Maker, this is definitely Mario movie bump. Mario Party. Oh, this is Super Mario Party. This is Mario movie bump number 26. Monster Hunter. This is the Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak set. This bump, this just suddenly been in chart 2000. I think this is because Sunbreak released on. This is what happens. You think this sounds? I know this sounds strange, but. Monster Hunter Rise only released digitally on PlayStation 4 and 5. There's no physical version, right? So when that game released there, it made Monster Hunter come back into the chart on Switch. Because people see ads. They must see ads for the PlayStation 4 version, and then they go out and get the Switch version. That's what happened. So when Sunbreak, I think Sunbreak is just released on PlayStation, it made this come back into the chart. I know it sounds weird, but it just happens. So that's basically why that's there, because it hasn't been in the chart for ages and suddenly it's there again. So how many Mario and Mario adjacent, right? I'm gonna say Mario adjacent. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got Super Mario 3D World. 7. If you want to count Smash, that's 8. 9. You would count Mario. So it's, if you want to count Smash, which is, I'd say Mario adjacent, it's 9. If you don't count Smash, it's 8. So that is definitely the Mario movie. Why that's happened. There's never normally that many Mario games in the chart. Oh, you got to go. Thanks for coming out, David. Oh, you've probably already gone by. Have a great day. Have a great. You too, David. Have a great Zelda day. Yeah. Take care, David. Yeah. So that's our 2 weeks worth of charts, of software charts. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So yeah, the Mario movie bump is interesting, of course. It's just interesting to see how the PlayStation 4 version of Hogwarts Legacy did. Nowhere near as well as the PlayStation 5 version, which did it sounds weird to say, but it did fairly well for a PlayStation, at the time, PlayStation 5 only game, right? That's a Western game. But, the Harry Potter IP is very popular in Japan, actually. They have a whole, I think the Universal Studio and everything's there. So, yeah. So the next thing we need to do is look at this hardware. So now, Famitsu, and they tend to do this, they separate out the software sales. We did not get the hardware sales, so as far as I know. Now I might check on install base and see if it has since been, because what they have here with this chart is basically they've divided up the sales. They just divided it by 2, which is not clearly how it wouldn't have sold. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the chart, the one I screen capped from earlier. I prepared one. It's prepared. So you have to remember this is 2 weeks combined. Install base just divided it by 2, but we're going to just look at the 2 weeks combined. I think it makes more sense to do that until we get this divided by Famitsu. So 2 weeks, and so you have to remember there's the Golden Week holiday. There's a week long holiday period in Japan, and what happens every year, and this is, you know, similar with the Christmas and New Year's holiday, is that, you know, leading up to it, you know, the sales will be down a little bit, and then it's an explosion of sales, right, in the holiday period, and then it slows down again after. Now, what's really interesting this year, this doesn't normally happen, but Nintendo's decided to release Tears of the Kingdom effectively after this holiday period is you know, happened, which I can't think of the last time a major release did that. Well, it doesn't happen very often for a Japanese company to do that, right? A Western company might do it because they don't care. But yeah, it's not for a Japanese company to do that, being obviously mindful of when the holidays are in Japan, is what I would say, which is why they released the Mario movie so late in Japan. I think some other parts of Asia compared to in the West. So for the 2 weeks of sales, there's a huge bump for both Switch and PlayStation 5 saw a bump. So for Nintendo Switch, that's 216,525,000. And what's interesting here is that if we look for the the breakdown between the different SKUs, the OLED is 184,000, which is obviously really high. It's the majority of it. It's the majority of it, and that basically coincides with the fact that there's this Zelda OLED, or we call it the Zoled. Basically, Nintendo must have made that abundantly available, and a lot of people went and bought that. So that's the bump we're seeing here. You know, some of those people probably got it from Amazon and ended up with a spoon, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, there's a really huge bump, and then the other SKUs are, you know, much less. The Switch Lite is 10,000. The regular Nintendo Switch, that's, you know, the kind of the box stand. I don't know how to say it. The original model, I guess, or not original, because I think they updated it somehow with a new chip or something. Yeah, they did. But you know what I mean. They don't that original one. They don't sell anymore. It was discontinued. Now it's this new one, like the Switch that comes in the red box. Because before the box was bigger and it was it white? It was white on the front. I can't remember. Anyway, it was a bigger box. It was a different shape. But now it's like this other box, and that's the regular Switch. So that's 21,000. So mostly all OLED. Oh, ScreenX financials are out. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to cover it now. Oh, I'm gonna have to look. Kike, can you find links to it or a summary and post it in the topics thread, and I might be able to cover it. But otherwise, I can't really look that up at the same time I'm trying to do the show. It's kind of difficult. So PlayStation 5, 99.9 thousand. This is almost 100,000. This is, I don't have confirmation of this, but this has got to be like one of the highest outside of like the actual launch week. because we did have those fabled 90k weeks a few weeks back, but it didn't go. It didn't go this high. So it's almost 100,000. Now we're gonna obviously get into this. PlayStation 5, like the regular one with the disc drive. I'm never sure what to call it, but you know what I mean, like the disc drive, PlayStation, the one you can put disc in. Okay, so that's almost 85,000, and then like basically 15,000 was the digital version. Okay. So here's the thing: the software, the PlayStation software didn't really see a bump from the hardware sales getting a bump. Oh, you have a summary. Thank you, Kika. So this is a conundrum that we have been talking about this for like 3 blasted years at this point. That even when the hardware is bumped significantly, you don't see any bump in the software. We just went over the software, and you know, we saw a really pretty abysmal launch for Jedi Star Wars Survivor. I'd say that's absolutely terrible. I mean, this is worse than Forspoken. What did Forspoken launch at? It wasn't 12,000. Was that 20, 30? Was that 30,000? Wasn't this? And Forspoken was a flop. It was a flop. So that's pretty bad. And actually, let's be quicker if I look at install base. So install base, this is quicker here. So if you can see the number of titles, 25. Yeah, I'm checking install base. For what? For this? I'm looking at install base now, Jago. 2025 was Switch titles for this. Oh no, just look at this. Not even install base. Let's say where's better to look is even on here. Full shot, baby. Stream delay. Oh yeah. I'm gonna test out that ultra low latency. Sometime during the week I'll do a test. See if we can try the ultra low latency. But for Forspoken. Okay, so the reason I wanted to look at this is because we can look at the software. Bearing in mind what it sold, so the PlayStation 5 averaged out at 50,000 a week. But then we look at the software, you know, 80% of what sold last week was the Switch. You know, it's really low. It's really low. And then when you can take, where did not have the hardware thing? Where's the? Oh, it's the software. Where's the little hardware pie chart? Oh, they didn't. Oh, they don't have it because they don't have the breakdown, of course. Oh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, so you can see here, it's still like 80% Switch, and that's with like new releases. And then if we look at the previous week, so this is the week that Star Wars Jedi Survivor came out. So this is with a release that admittedly didn't do very well. It's 83% Switch, 12% PS5, PS4 is 6%. So what has happened is that PlayStation 5 software is now selling more on average, if you average it all out obviously, than PlayStation 4, which is good because you want to see that transition from, and it's taken a very, very long time in Japan. It's not complete. In the West, PlayStation 4 sales are definitely like cratered, but there's still quite a lot of sales on PlayStation 4 in Japan because a lot of people just haven't made the transition for whatever reason. So yeah, so this bump in hardware is just not reflected in the software. So even when there is a bump, it's still like this. So let's look at the previous week. So this is before Golden Week. This is the previous week before Golden Week. This is when Minecraft Legends came out. So this is like 3 weeks ago, right? So 3 weeks ago, it was like 88% Switch. You know, and 11% PlayStation 5. Clem S is here. Clemes, I really hope you are not that same troll that's come back again for your sake. I really do. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Yeah, I like the Tokyo Revengers avatar. But please do not be that person, because I'm trying to ban a raid again. You'll just get banned again. Right, so. And there's the pie chart for that time. What should we go on to next? That's basically it. Oh no, well I didn't talk about the rest of it really, did I? Where's the thing I just had open? Right. PlayStation 4 sales. Not too much to talk about apart from the fact that there are still PlayStation 4s available. 2,000 of them sold over the holiday period, whereas you see the previous year it was 81 because there was one last run of production, right? There was one last run of production, and that's why. Let me close this one here. There's one last run of production. So 2,000. Xbox, now I've said this, I think Xbox is dead in Japan. I don't think the sales are ever going to pick up again. There was a time when there was a few, because even last year during the holiday period, it did 14,000, you know, but you have to remember, this is when, like, the PlayStation 5 was more supply constrained, and I think some people were going out, a small number, but some people were going out to get, you know, cheap, especially the cheap Series S. But that doesn't seem to be happening. It's just been too many weeks, like in fact months in a row now, of just around 1,000, below 1,000, 500, like super. This is the holiday period, and it's 1.3. So that tells you all you need to know, really. That I don't think it's ever going to pick up again. Just my opinion, but I think that's it. I think it's over for Xbox in Japan. They had like a thing where it seemed like, oh, people are like, oh, it's doing well. It beat the PlayStation 5 or a couple of times, and I'm like, no, it's not doing well. So no, I think it's you know, fortunately, I think Microsoft could have done some more things to avoid this, but you know, I think Microsoft or their Xbox division in general is going through a lot of troubles at the moment. So they probably are not looking at Japan, to be honest. Which is a shame. Now, if anyone wants to join me, please hop into the waiting room. Let me make an invite here. Please hop into the waiting room, and I will bring you into the on-air room when I'm ready. So here is the waiting room, so just hop in. You'll have to join the Discord. Well, if you're not a member, you'll have to. I mean, it's just simple. I did do an invite. I did make an invite. I'll make another one for you. There you go. There's another invite if you want to join me. If you want to join the call as we go through the other topics. Thank you, Keycare, for getting me a summary of the Square Enix financials. Square Enix, who we love to. So hang on a minute. Since Square Enix have their financials, does that mean Airbus Kiryu-san has taken over now, or is that in the next meeting or whatever? Doesn't he take over? Isn't he taking over now? Isn't that what that is? So for those who don't know, Airbus Kiryu-san is our Lord and Saviour. No, I'm joking. Airbus Kiryu-san is the heir apparent. He's going to be the president of Square Enix imminently, if not already. And they got rid of Matsuda. Matsuda effed up big time. Closing studios and selling off studios and just having a whole just mid games, flopping games all over the flippity flop mid games all over the blasted place. It's NFT obsession. They're not stopping at that NFT. Even though NFTs, the market has, you know, collapsed. No. Square Enix is still gonna pour a whole bunch of. No. They're sure. People want NFTs, and anytime now, it's gonna pick up. We need to be ready. Yeah. So that's Square. Now, Square Enix is not all bad, obviously. They just do some weird business stuff. And you know, we like to rib them on this show. So yeah, Airbus Kiryu-san is taking over, and the reason he's called Airbus Kiryu-san is because, hold up, I don't have the picture. Oh my god, do I have it? I don't have. Oh, okay. How do I get it on here? Didn't I save it on one of these things? I swear I did. Oh, here's his Instagram. Oh no, wait, he's not locked in. This is when I was trying to. No, not that. Oh yeah. This is the reason we call him Airbus Kiryu-san, because this photograph that he uses for his official Square Enix portrait has been airbrushed within an inch of his life. It's completely airbrushed. So this is why we call him that. Okay? Now, to be fair to Airbus Kiryu-san, in real life he does look quite young. This man is 50, right? He's the same. I said this before, him and Yoshi P are almost the same age. Yoshi P is only 1 year older than him, by the way. Look at Yoshi P, who I think has been on them cancer sticks. He looks significantly older than Airbus Kiryu-san, who doesn't look that far off this in real life. But this photograph has been airbrushed, so that's why we call him that. That's why we call him Airbus Kiryu-san. So what we're going to go into, you call him K-chan. Mousy calls him K-chan. You shortened it down. That shortening of his name has not been sanctioned by me, Mousy. That has not been sanctioned by me. I didn't say you call him that. I'm joking. You can call him whatever you like, but his official name is Airbus Kiryu-san. So, he looks so young. He looks extremely young. And when he came, it's so funny, when he came into that, the stream we watched, where he was on the Final Fantasy 14 letters from the producer, all the comments on the side are going, oh my god, he's so young. And I'm like, no, look it up. The man is like 50. He is not young. He's not young at all. He's like him and Yoshi P are like 1 year apart. You would not believe it to see them side by side, but like, yes, they are like 1 year apart. So yeah, he just looks super young. Right, so anyway, what the hell was I bloody talking about? Okay, we're going to talk about these Nintendo financials, and then we'll talk about Zelda. This is Zelda launch day, today's the Kingdom launch day, and then we're going to talk about Square Enix L's. Well, we'll see. We're going to count up the L's and the W's, and we're going to balance them out. Is it overall L, overall W for Square Enix? We'll see. So yeah, it is financial season. A whole bunch of companies will have their financials around the same time because of when the financial year ends, obviously. So it's just, you know, also you get a whole bunch of them all around the same time, all different companies. So yeah, we've covered various ones. We had Sony's a while back. We had, did we do Capcom? Or did Capcom just come? I can't remember now. Anyway, we did various different companies have had them. So this week we had Nintendo's financials. So what's interesting, I basically, I'm not going to go over every single little detail, but I'm just going to go over the parts that seemed interesting to me. So I found it interesting that so we can look at the Nintendo Switch platform here, that software had actually cost over 1 billion units. So it's the first Nintendo platform to ever do that, and I think it may only be like the third other platform to do it ever, because I believe the PS2 and I think the PS4 also managed to achieve 1 billion. So someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's only those two, because the DS didn't. So I believe, yeah, and we didn't. So I think it's just those two. So so that's, you know, an achievement for Nintendo. We have sales of 125 million, which means around 3 million sold in that last quarter. So it's, yeah, 3.6 million sold in that quarter. Thank you, Mousy. Was it the PS4 and PS2, right, Jago? Oh god, I can't see where your comments are. Let me see. Where did you put the comments? Oh, it's in the live chat. Jago. Oh, the PS2 2 billion. Wow. Is that true? I thought it was just a billion. Did he do 2 billion back before digital? Yeah, PS4 sold over a billion. Did PS2 do 2 billion before digital downloads? Well, that's absolutely astounding if it did. I know it passed a billion, 1 billion. I saw some guys on Twitter say that. I don't know how valid. Well, you know, some guys on Twitter, they're always, you know, right, aren't they? I remember Sony saying that PS4 did 1.5 billion. Wow, that's amazing. 1.5 billion. It's huge. Yeah, PS4 sold a lot. Sold a lot of software. So yeah, so this is the first Nintendo platform, and then I think the third one ever. So it's, you can see it's very difficult for a platform to get that many sales. It has to have a combination of longevity and just general a large install base popularity, which both the PS4 and the PS2 had. And don't forget, the PS2 was around for like 10 years, right? So yeah. So there was 3 million that quarter. Now the other ones I wanted to look at, not that one. So the hardware that yeah, trust me, bro. That's the source for that guy on Twitter. Trust me, bro. That's just Kike saying this. That's the source. Now, what I found actually interesting was if we look at the total sales that the Switch hardware sold in financial year 23. So the Switch it's 6 sales, yeah, okay. So it's seen a decline of 22.1%, and that's normal for a platform. You know, that's old for a platform, right? Some don't always go that far, and that decline for a platform that old is to be expected. But what I found interesting, this is a chart made by Lumina 4545 over on install base, is that if you actually look and see what other platforms, so this is pretty much, you know, okay, it's just Sony and PlayStation, but those are the relevant platforms, right? So when you compare it to other platforms in their sixth fiscal year, right? So their 6th fiscal year and what they sold. So the Switch sold, where's it on here now? Yeah, 17.97 million in its 6th fiscal year, which if you look up and down this chart, makes it the highest ever to sell that in a 6th fiscal year, because normally they are dropping off. As I said, the Switch is dropping. That happens to every platform. So the one that was the next highest before that was a DS, was 17.53 million. And the next highest before that, you have to look at is this the next one here? PS4, which sold 13.4 million in its 6th financial year. Like, oh no, sorry, no, this one's higher. Sorry, PS2, which sold 16.22 million in its 6th financial year. So you can see what I mean. Basically, everything drops down. But that's the highest for the 6th fiscal year. So I keep saying financial year, I meant fiscal year. So, I mean, you can see here, yeah, then it'd be PS4, then PS3, which was 12.8 million, and then what was next after that? the NES, which was 10.43 million, and then the PS1, 9.31 million. So those are platforms that did, you know, pretty well, right? But you can see some platforms, I mean, it happens to every platform, but there's, you know, there's a slowdown, but some are more dramatic than others. So you can see, for example, the DS, it sold 17.53 million in its sixth fiscal year, but that had dropped dramatically to 5.1 million in its seventh fiscal year. Now, I think that's because there was overlap with I think isn't it when the 3DS came out? I think that's what happened, isn't it? Didn't they kind of overlap them? I mean, it's always overlapping to some degree, but that's probably, I'm guessing it's because the 3DS came out, or I don't know what happened. So yeah, so some of them that's a huge tumble, right? For the DS, it's absolutely enormous. It dropped down a lot. Some of them is not as, you know, it's more gentle, but then it wasn't that high in the first place. Like the 3DS, you know, its highest sales were like 13 million, almost 14 million. Then we go here, it's like 7.27 million. Then it drops down 6.41 million. So it's more of a gentle drop, but that had already declined it already. So to look at other platforms, the one that sold a lot for a long time, for a lot of years, is the PS2. That's one you have to look at, because we could see the sixth financial year, it gone up actually. It went up from the fifth financial year, which is 16.17, then it went up to 16.22. That's just incredible. And then seventh financial year, 14.71. I mean fiscal year. I was in financial year, fiscal year. 13.73. Ninth was 7.91. 10th was 7.30. Astonishing. That's on its 10th financial year there. Oh, sorry, fiscal year. Fiscal. You know what I mean. Fiscal year. Okay, so that's astonishing. To have sales at that high for that long is, you know, unprecedented. It's really another platform has not been able to do that. I don't know whether the Switch would have that longevity, but really another platform hasn't really managed to do that. Even if we look what happened with the PS4, I mean, it dropped off a cliff. Here, it was 13.4 million in its sixth financial year. By the seventh, it's down to 5.8, and then it's eighth fiscal year is 1 million. So what happened here when they released Sony releasing the PlayStation 5, they really wanted to have this quick transition. So that's when they kind of PS4 production kind of almost completely stopped. There was this extra million that they did, which is I guess what they're counting for here in the eighth financial year or fiscal year. I'm going to keep saying it wrong, just, you know, you need to accept it. So that's what happened there. That was my train of thought, what was I saying? But yeah, they wanted to have this really quick transition over, so they stopped producing them, and then stopped counting the numbers going up, because it's pretty much not going to go up past 17 million. And then also, the pandemic obviously meant that the PlayStation 5 production was constrained, but, you know, they had to choose, I guess, resources between PlayStation 4 or 5, decided to put it into 5, which is, you know, more sensible thing to do, and that's why PlayStation 4 just dropped dramatically like that. And what happened, finished at 17 million, which is still extremely good, but that is what that's what I think, in my opinion, why it's that dramatic with a drop off like that. So others have a more gentle decline, but that one was kind of dramatic. So yeah. So all in all, that it's not doing too bad in its sixth fiscal year. And all the other things I had on here, the video. What does it have? Oh yeah, so here's the top selling software update. Let me just check this chat, make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, thank you. Square Enix financials are out and not good. They talked about blockchain, so that's the L for the week. Oh, we count them weekly L's. Weekly L's. Thank you for the reminder, Mousy. Thank you very much. Nobody. Certain people said they were going to come onto the show, and they have not. So their show's not going to go much longer. If nobody joins me. So, here's a top 10 best-selling software. This is from Nintendo's investors website. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has 53.79 million, and that's just on Switch. If you include the original release, which was about 8 million or something like that, you know, this game has sold 60 million. So extremely high. Like a very high percentage of people that have a Switch. It's like half. Isn't it like half of people that have a Switch have this game? Then we've got Animal Crossing New Horizons, 42.21 million. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 31.09 million. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, 29.81 million. Pokemon Sword and Shield, 25.82 million. Super Mario Odyssey, 25.76 million. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, 22.1 million. And you'll note that this game came out November last year. So this game is like 6 months old, and it's getting close to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which I guess again came out like over 3 years ago. So is it going to cross this? Is it going to cross Sword and Shield? Will it become the best-selling Pokemon of all time? In order to do that, I believe it has to be Red, Blue, Green, which was about 31 million. I think Red, Blue, Green. I don't know. I don't know if that's possible. I think it's going to go past. Oh gosh, I don't know. Is it possible that it could go past Red, Blue, Green? Good lord, I don't know. It seems like it's possible, right? If you think, well, it's for certain it's going to pass Sword and Shield, which is at 25 million, and at that point, it's like a hop, skip, and a jump to pass the 30 or 31 million of Red, Blue, Green. So I don't know. We'll have to see. It seems like it could be possible. Then it's Super Mario Party with 19.14 million. Now remember, this is the one that came out a few years ago, not the most recent one, because that one's called Mario Party Superstars. This is the one before that. Then new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, 15.41 million. People ask all the time, why did they put that game in? There's nobody likes those 2D Mario. This is why, because it sold 15 million. That's why. And a Ring Fit Adventure, 15.38 million. And the thing is to remember of this is that this game cannot be bought digitally. It can only be bought physically, because you need the ring con thing. You know, the ring you have to use. And there's no digital version of that game. So these are all physical. So yeah, very good software sales, in my opinion. And then we have the million sellers updated list. This is from Nintendo, from the PDF that I did this on my tablet. I didn't do this on the PC, so I don't have the link to the PDF that I pulled this from, but it's their investors summary, basically. And so they will tell you everything published by Nintendo that sold 1 million within the fiscal year just passed. So we have some games that had released previously that are on this list because they had sold at least 1 million, right? So that's what this list is. So what I did is that I went through and I looked at all the things that were new on this list compared to the previous financial year, right? So Mario Strikers Battle League, which released last year, 2.54 million. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, that's 1.86 million. Fire Emblem Engage was 1.61 million. Kirby's Old Ass Wii Port. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry, Jago. Kirby's Return to Dreamland. 1.46 million. Metroid Prime Remastered 1.09 million, and Bayonetta 3 at 1.07 million. Now, in comment a few of these releases, because some of these are like the more niche stuff that Nintendo has published, right? The Mario Strikers games were never huge sellers anyway, but I believe this is either at or approaching being the best selling one of them, because they didn't. They only sold like a couple of million each, believe it or not. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, 1.86 million now. I believe Xenoblade 2 is over 2 million. Or it just, what did it? I think it sold like 2 million. Just over 2 million. So that means that this one's doing really well. Although obviously, you know, these are JRPGs, so the sales, you know, they tend to sell more at the beginning. So this, I think this is fairly good for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, because there's a chance that this is going to pass 2. Fire Emblem Engage is a different story. I believe this is selling slower than Three Houses. I think this entry was not quite as well received. Not like it was received badly, but not quite as well received as Fire Emblem Three Houses. It's more, so what's actually come out from what I think the developers have confirmed this, that this was going to be an anniversary game that got delayed because of the pandemic, because of COVID. This was meant to release during, I think, the 35th anniversary of Fire Emblem. The 35th, right? But they couldn't do it because of what was going on. So it's just, there's a lot of basically fan service of old, you know, older Fire Emblem fans would know about, you know, previous characters from some of the older games and stuff like that. So that's probably why it had less appeal than Three Houses, which was a, you know, more of a brand new thing. And I mean, this is brand new. There's brand new characters and stuff in it, but there's a lot of older characters in it that not everybody would know. Kirby's Return to Dreamland, I think that did well for what is a re-release of a game. You know, some people call it a remaster. I say it's an old ass Wii port, but whatever. 1.46 million is good for that. Metroid Prime Remastered, I saw some people down on this, but this is good. Like, I think people don't realise like how kind of niche Metroid is in general. This is really good for it to go over a million. Jago, okay, it's a remaster, whatever. It's still a Wii game. Literally, look at the original. I've seen it. The original looks like a Wii game. I've seen it. You know what I'm telling me? The original one looks like a Wii game. Yes, it doesn't. It looks better than that. Well, that was like 400p. Was it 400p? If that. Yeah. Anyway, Metroid Prime Remastered. So I think this is good. It sold over 1 million in like a couple of months. Because if you look at when it released till now, when the cutoff was, I forget the cutoff was on the 31st of March. Yeah, that's the other thing to add. This isn't till now. I think. Wait, what does it say that? A bundle. Maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the cutoff the 31st of March? Or do they? Or I know that. Maybe it's the million sellers, because I'm not sure the million sellers, they have it right up to date, or if it goes up to the 31st of March like all the rest of the stats that they give us. Not 100% sure, I can't think now, but yes, so that's still really good. The cutoff is 31st of March, even for the million sellers list. Is it the same? So all in all, I think this is oh okay, even for that. I think this is decent for those. But yes, Fire Emblem Engage is selling slower than the previous Fire Emblem title. But Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I think it's doing well because 2, I think it's just over 1 million. I don't know off the top of my head. But it didn't make it to 3 million. Fire Emblem 3 Houses did. I think it's actually, I think that might even got to 4 million, or it's close to 4 million. So yes, that's for the million sellers, and yeah, that's it basically for Nintendo financials. Now, we can briefly talk about Zelda. And then okay, Jago has the number for Xenoblade. Let's have a look. Xenoblade 2. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is at 2.44 million as of the 1st December 2021. So that was 2 years ago. So one would imagine that it might not have got to 3 million, but it should be thereabouts or close, right? If that was 2 years ago, it's not selling crazy, obviously, because it's a bit of more of a niche JRPG. Not sure, but I think 3 is going to cross it. I think 3 is going to outsell it, or I should rather say it will sell out. It will sell. Okay, Jago says I don't think it'd be 3 million. At most, it'd be 2.6 to 2.7. I agree. I don't think it's got up to 3, even though that was 2 years ago. But I think Xenoblade 3 will pass that 2.44 million last official. Well, obviously, I can just say last official number. I don't know the official number, which is an estimate, but I think it will pass that. 3 should outsell it, but it'll take a while. I think the difference is with 3 that I don't know how they counted this, Jago, because Torna, the expansion for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 had its own physical cartridge and had its own separate listing on the eShop, whereas the DLC for Xenoblade 3 doesn't. It's like you have to buy the game and then buy it through the game. You got to buy it through the game. It's on the same listing. So I don't know when they sold, and I imagine the DLC, the Xenoblade 2 DLC didn't sell gangbusters, but did they count that as towards the sales, or was it DLC? I don't know. It was probably just DLC, right? Yeah, I wish they'd made us physical. Why? They say they're gonna make new amiibo, but no physical. What about collectors, Nintendo? Why are you just leaving us in the dust? Why? Why, Nintendo? And why did you only make 1 amiibo for Tears of the Kingdom? And Breath of the Wild had 20. Why? Nintendo. Jago says I can look at their financial year 2019 to see if it's there. You don't have to, Jago. It's alright. You can look it up later if you like to. You want to let me know. I don't know. Is Jago at work? Are you at work? Should you be working? So that's that. Now let's briefly talk about Tears of the Kingdom, since that's the new release. It released, and you're not really at work. Oh, it's Zelda Day. Okay, you're not at work, it's Zelda Day. I guess you're playing Zelda. Awesome. So Tears of the Kingdom released. Yeah, at the moment it has 87 reviews. So this is just, I actually didn't have the thing for Open Critic, because I just didn't have it open. That's why. I mean, I don't know what to say. I just don't have it. Here it is. So people normally look up both of these when, both are good. But yeah, so you can see how many reviews does this have. Yeah, this one doesn't have as many people reviewing, I guess. I am at work. Kiken didn't take a Zelda Day. Well, Kike, that's, you know, you snooze, you lose. I don't know why you didn't take a Zelda game. I think you said you ran out of holiday days, right? So the scores came out, and it's a 96, which is right around the where Breath of the Wild was. I believe that was a 97. So, yeah, it's unusual for a game to be able to, like a sequel, to be able to hit close to, especially one that was like as kind of impactful as Breath of the Wild, that people thought that the sequel wasn't going to, or some people did, thought it was going to be as high. So, yeah, congratulations to the Zelda team and Nintendo for getting this. It's not easy to get a score like that, right? It doesn't happen very often, actually, to even get into the 90s. So there's just a few games this year that have scored that high. What were the other ones that was scored that high? No, we need the list of. How do you see the list of? Anyway, let's quickly look at these reviews. So we don't have the user reviews in. I think they're not there yet. As soon as they come in, expect it to be review bombed. There's no way it's not going to be review bombed. Just expect it. It always happens with games like this. They just get review bombed. So across the board, it's 86 reviews and then this one mixed review, which we'll come to. I feel like this always happens. Well, not always, but there's, always one that wants to be like a little bit contrarian, but that's fine. I mean, it's their opinion. So then quite a few, just like 100s basically, like from many different. There's loads. There's loads of hundreds. Okay, maybe like 98s and 95. There's a lot of these 90s. As you can see, a lot of 90s and 80s. Then, like 4, 5, and some 580s, and then this really low one, 60. Which is what it is, right? And then these ones, I did actually read GQ, CNET, Polygon, and The Verge. If they had these sites don't do scores. If they had done scores, from what I read, GQ, CNET, and Polygon probably would have all given it a perfect 10. The Verge were more critical and said they didn't feel like it lived up to Breath of the Wild. So I did read through those. They said it didn't. They thought it was good, but didn't live up to it. Live up to Breath of the Wild in that reviewer's opinion, which is fair enough. Everyone has a different opinion. So yeah. So Jago says, I went snooping through Nintendo's website for their financial information, and their stuff from 2020 is super bare bones. They didn't mention Xenoblade in their financial year 2019 roundup, which would have had any information about Torna. So Torna was probably not counted as a sale. I think it was just counted as DLC, even though it had its own separate, like literally a physical copy and an eShop listing. It's kind of weird. I can't think of any other DLC they've even done. They haven't even done that with Pokemon DLC. What other DLC have they even done that with? So yeah, there's the reviews, and then Open Critic. There's like 67 reviews. Some of these are some sites do star ratings, right? So Eurogamer moved to this star rating thing, 5 stars. In my opinion, I prefer the 10-point scale, but I mean, different websites do it differently. Some of these are unscored because the site just doesn't give scores. And then so you can see the various scores they gave, different IGNs, different websites. So some of these are. So I think, like, for example, so I'm pretty sure that for Metacritic it has to be a written review, but I think OpenCritic includes video reviews. I think. Yeah, because this is a video review here from Skill Up, who didn't score it, apparently, unscored. Yeah, so these are written reviews, but I think they include video reviews. How many is there? So quite a lot of recommendations. The other thing that OpenCritic does, which I do quite like, is when they tell you like how many critics recommend it, or because you can give a score, right, but does the critic actually recommend it? So it says that 100% did recommend the game. So even if they said, right, the game, you know, they're giving an 80 is still a good score, right? But with if a game's an 8 out of 10, it's probably still a game that you'd recommend, if you see what I mean. So I think that's how they do it. And 8 out of 10, so right, if I played an 8 out of 10 game, my friend said, oh, was that game any good? So I play it. I'll be like, oh yeah, you know, this game's pretty good. And here's the things I liked about it. But there's a couple of things that I didn't like that we could have made it better. So I think that's what that is. So yeah. Now we have a little time to look at these. Let's see. I believe Kika provided me a link to some Square Enix financials. Thank you, Kika. Oh, let's open, not that, let's open this. Pages and pages of Square Enix holdings. How many pages is this? Oh my god. Kika, this is 42 pages. I can't go through all of this. Kika, I can't do it. Kika. Oh, their stuff's down. They're down or they're down. Look at this. New titles were unable to offset weak performances from existing titles. But you know whose fault those weak performances are? Matsuda. That's whose fault. And his complete mismanagement of this whole goddamn company. Flop after flop after flop after flop under Matsuda. It's his fault. Do you know what else didn't do well? Theatrhythm. That game, which by all accounts, everyone says the game's amazing, did not perform well. Did not perform well. And then there's some of them just right and out flopped and closed the entire goddamn studios. Forspoken, looking at you. So here the MMOs, and then the one MMO that's never left Japan, Dragon Quest X. Don't get me started on the not localizing Dragon Quest X offline, because I will. No, I won't talk about it. And here's the many mobile PC games, browser games, of which they have a lot of. My mouse is playing up. Please stop playing up. Stop it. Stop it, mouse. What the hell? I need a new mouse. I need this is a wireless one. I need a wired one. Flop LX. Okay, here's their digital entertainment. Well, you can see it's gone down. Matsuda, what the hell? This is Forspoken. It was good. They must have spent like it was over $100 million on that game, and then like dissolving the studio. At least the people didn't lose their jobs. I'm glad about that. The amusement has gone up, which I guess you'd expect because of the end of restrictions, COVID restrictions. That's gone up. Good for them. Publications. Oh my god, Square Enix does publish some good manga. I'm not gonna lie. There's a little W, right? Because I started watching this anime, which is based on one of their mangas. Like they don't make anime. But they this is good. This isn't this the Toilet Bound Hanako-kun? Isn't that what this is? Hanako-kun? I started watching the anime of this. This is anime. It's called My Clueless First Friends. Yeah. There's only like 5 episodes so far. It's really good. Hanako, do you know Hanako? I've watched like 2 episodes of it. I really like the art style. But I did you read this manga, Jago? Trust Jago to know about that. Good lord. And you know, I watched 1 episode of this one. I watched the whole season. Is it good? Is it worth watching the rest of it? I started watching this and I was like, I wasn't really feeling it. But maybe it's one of those ones I need to go back to. This one where she dresses up all the guys trying to dress her up or some. I forgot what it's called. Dress Up Darling. Is it really good? I watched the first episode and I wasn't that sold in it. But then I felt like that about Nagatoro. I watched the first couple of episodes and I thought this is goddamn terrible. And I went back to it like a year later and I was like, oh my god, I love this show. I know you don't like Nagatoro, right? Was it Jago says you don't like it? Okay, My Dress Up Darling is good. See how Square Enix is getting all these W's. All these W's are coming out of nowhere. Marin, is that her name? The main character here. See, this is how Square Enix works. They get these sneaky W's in. I'm onto your game, Square Enix. I know. Oh, you don't like Nagatoro? Did you watch the entire first season? I really like it. But yeah, I mean, I felt like that about that first. So maybe I need to go back and watch My Dress Up Darling. Oh my god, what are you lot posting in the goddamn chat? What is this? Sad Sonic. Why are you sad? Oh, because I haven't watched My Dress Up. I'm going to watch it. I need to go back and watch it. Do you know how much anime I'm watching at the same time? Oh my god. Yeah, so the merchandising was up. They want to sell you more dolls and stuff. So you said you have a summary. I can't believe this is like 40 pages of this. I can't read all this. Oh my god, what's this company? Okay, oh my god, this is their Web. Oh my god, they have a whole segment about Web3. Oh my god. This is all this Web3 and blockchain nonsense, by the way. This is what they're talking about, their investments. Initiatives deployed to drive further growth. New dome. Oh, God. Square Enix. What the hell? Future plans. What do they say here? Oh, look. Here we go. Strengthening in-house development resources. Consolidate group resources on major products through Luminous Productions merger, etc. Well, they have to do that. Achieve optimal allocation of internal development resources with focus on AAA titles. Yeah, let's not have more AAA flippity flops like Forspoken, please. Overhaul structure for developing smart device games by realigning internal organisation. Okay. Strengthening in-house development resources. Step up hiring of engineers and other development talent to not only HD and smart device games, but also content for future cross-platform offerings. What do they mean by that? Content for future cross-platform... Oh no, do they mean like live service games? Is that what they mean? They mean this live service on Web3 nonsense, don't they? Cross-platform offerings, what else could that be? They don't have games like that at the moment. Square Enix, you just literally just shut down the first Soldier, goddamn Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale, and then this is what they're talking. Oh my god! Bring talented external development resources into the group. Consider M&A, creating new studios and taking minority stakes. Okay, so they're considering buying or creating new studios. That's what they're saying here. Oh, here we go. The blockchain section. Square Enix, what is that? I don't understand why they're going so hard for this blockchain when they've seen it's already collapsed, this whole NFT thing. Okay, so here's their blockchain entertainment initiative. Shall we see what this says? Being a pioneer is key to achieving overwhelming success. Okay, so they're saying, well, we need to have the first mover advantage. We need to be one of the first that's doing it, and then we're going to get overwhelming success because no one else is really doing it, and we're going to be a pioneer. That's what they're saying, yeah. I can come on for a little while, Matt, because I'm starting to wane now, I guess. I thought you'd be here before. So I've been live for, let's see, 2 hours 14. Max says, I'm interested in your thoughts, Jodie, what you would have done for Square Enix to cause that W. What Square Enix did that caused the W was that they published that manga that I like. That's about what they've done recently. Oh, and yeah, they published Cherry Magic as well. Can't forget that. They did publish Cherry Magic. Very good BL. You should check that one out. They made it into a TV. The TV show was... It was good in its own right, but it didn't really follow the manga. It did its own thing in the movie. Yeah, it didn't follow, and good lord, Cherry Magic is really tame as it is. They tamed that the hell down for the TV show. Good lord, I heard they're making a Taiwan. I'm hoping that Taiwan, not Taiwanese, Thailand. That would be Thai, yeah, Thai. They're making one in Thailand, a new adaptation of it. So I'm waiting to see if they tone it down and take a bunch of stuff out of it. Release titles to validate business models and monetize simultaneously. Organic. Release titles to validate business models and monetize simultaneously. What does that mean? To validate business models. So they want to monetize and have the titles monetizing at the same time that they're first launching them, I guess. Continue to pursue investments globally. Inorganic. Okay, so this is them talking about investments, and this is talking about stuff they're doing internally. Oh my god, look at this. Oh my god, they've got whole sections of this. Initiatives to promote blockchain entertainment. Organic. Explore business structure / earnings potential of NFT business. Yeah, so this Shisan Say Million Alpha, they released, came out like a year or two ago. This was this blockchain game they put on mobile. Issue NFTs, release game content. Oh god. Yes, this is game that so they already have 2 of these. This was a blockchain game. This Symbiogenesis. I would love to know who's playing this quote unquote game, because that Symbiogenesis is not a game. I showed it to you on stream. It's like you literally just click and look for these NFTs. Our first sales of NFT collectible art featuring new IP. So I guess they're saying it's still in development. I think what they must have had was a beta of it. Okay, Vinimax waiting. Come on in, Vinimac. Future plans blockchain entertainment. Initiatives to promote blockchain entertainment. Invest selection policy. Prioritize strategic returns to the entire business and select companies capable of providing a stronger commitment as a business partner. Underlined. What's that all about? Minimize downside risk by taking minority stakes. Primarily select startups focusing on gaining insight / exploring into the domain. Diversification of investment vehicle. Considering establish a corporate venture capital CVC unit. Preparing to establish an overseas entity. Create Web3 business. Oh my good lord. They are going like hardcore into this stuff. And the fact that they're talking about, for their digital entertainment, they were talking about making new studios. But here they're talking about like investing. Look, minority stakes into different like blockchain business startups and all this type of nonsense. And making a venture capital with probably with another company. Preparing overseas entity, create Web3 business. The amount of money they must be pouring into this. This is where the goddamn money's going. Square Enix is such an L. Square Enix, do you want to be an L company? Do you really want to be an L company by doing all this nonsense? Because they think this is going to get them the big bucks. That's why they're doing it. I mean, obviously, every company thinks that makes an investment in a certain thing. But I have to say, with this like NFT blockchain, it just hasn't shown the promise and everything that everyone else they thought was going to. Don't forget, 2 years ago, it was like all the rage. Oh, NFT, Meta and all this. And what happened to all of that? Vinnie Mac, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Hi, Vinnie Mac. Welcome.
Phenomenal show as always, Jody. It's always good for you to join us. Thank you so much for putting this together for you.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm grateful for the people that do listen and then turn up. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Vinnie Mac.
So I'm going to push back just a teens on this.
You always do! Vinnie Mac, that's why I want you on the show. He always pushes back. Let's go.
I want to push back a little bit because you and I are savvy enough that we can our imaginations allow us to kind of pierce into the future. So we both know that even though NFTs are not for our gaming generation, we know that this type of gaming is going to be somewhere in the future. Do you agree with that? Blockchain and NFTs, games as a service, this is going to be the new future of game in the next 10, 15 years. Would you agree with that?
I think that it's possible that blockchain and NFT could have some utility, but whether that utility is going to be in games in a way that is equivalent to how microtransactions are now, that I'm skeptical of, because the reason for that, Vinnie Mac, is really even if you're putting aside how they're mining these, how they have to be created, and the environmental damage and all that causes. You put all of that into side, like these blockchain and buying NFTs is not the same as buying like skins in Fortnite. It's a considerable investment. It's hundreds or thousands.
I agree.
That you have to invest. It's not like, it really isn't like picking up just a regular game. I'm sure there's like things that they have cheaper, but even if you look at back when, so Ubisoft did, do you remember it was a year or two ago when Ubisoft had their, oh excuse me, burping because I'm drinking that fizzy drink. When Ubisoft had these NFT skins in one of their games, and they didn't sell well, but it cost hundreds. It wasn't like, if you just buy a skin in Fortnite, what's it going to cost you, $10-$20 probably? This isn't like $10-$20 that the average person. This is why I don't think it's going to be widespread like that, because you look. Then I know that basically the way these like live service games and mobile games work is that they have some whales, and then they have some people that simply spend a little bit of money, and then you have a lot of people that spend no money. But this is the way it is. It's like you have to be a whale, like you have to have like this hundreds or thousands to. It's like it's a business investment, and the gamification of that at the moment is extremely low. We looked at the Symbiogenesis website and how that works, and it tells you how the game's played on the website. We looked at that, Vinnie Mac. I don't know if you. I don't know if you was there or maybe you was there.
I was on the show when we saw the same character, just a different nose, different hairstyle. So I was on the show with that. It's just the way my imagination is going to allow. In that 10, 15 years, the way we define an NFT may be different in 10, 15 years. It may not be the NFT as our generation defines it. So some company has to have the investment, because if we can imagine a video game world where your disc, your cartridge no longer exists, everything is a Game Pass style model. You buy a Sony TV, PlayStation's installed on that. You buy a Nintendo Fire Stick. Nintendo games are on there. Game Pass comes up with their Nintendo stick. I'm sorry, with their own stick.
Nintendo Fire Stick. What's his Game
Well, I
Pass
mean,
stick?
I can-
Oh my
I can
god!
see- I can see
Vinny Mac,
that being a
Vinny
feature.
Mac, get quick, Nintendo, get Vinny Mac on the phone, quick!
So I mean, instead of your regular disc-based, CD-based boxes in front of your systems, everything's going to be a little more, I don't know, on the go. Fire sticks, subscription programs, Xboxes, Netflix style gaming. So I do see a future where, 20 years from now, when Jody 2 is having these types of conversations,
There ain't gonna be no
there
Jody
are
2.
some successful style and NFT style games. I don't know what that will look like, but I do believe that it will be vastly different than how we are defining it now. The way we are defining it now is not sustainable because we just don't have the resources.
Yeah, no,
So we
I
may have
agree.
to change what an NFT means. It still may have that skeleton, it still may have that DNA, but some company has to be the first. So
Square Enix wants to be that company, or they think they're going to be.
At least they're all in it. So when it does take off, they're at least ahead of the curve. Now I don't.
Yes, that's what they've said.
This is an L for them now because they have to invest so much and they're not going to get anything in return.
Oops.
But at some point it may turn profit. But that's just my thinking when it comes down to that.
No, I completely agree with you. Like the way things are now, it's not going to be like this in 20 years. I agree with everything you said, apart from the utility of these NFTs, because in order for them to be like a big part of gaming, they have to be gamified and implemented in a way that makes sense, that's an enjoyable game. And at the moment, if you look at what even Square Enix and other companies are saying, they don't even call them games. They call them, like you can see right here, blockchain entertainment. They literally don't even call them games. And when we went on the Symbiogenesis website, it said something like blockchain or NFT based entertainment or something. It said, and
blockchain and something like that.
Yeah, and I said at the time, I said, what about this this doesn't seem fun at all. There has to be some fun, because if you look at an example, Fortnite makes millions, billions of dollars, right? People they spend a lot of money on their skins. Epic's made a lot of money. People play Fortnite because they're having fun. Symbiogenesis, we looked at it, it didn't look fun. So I'm saying, like, it's possible what you're saying, but at the moment, what they're actually trying to do right now doesn't seem like it's fun. Now, they are saying they want to have the first, they're basically what they're saying here, they want the first mover advantage. So it says here, look, being a pioneer is a key to achieving overwhelming success. They believe, yes, if they're going to be one of the first companies to do this, and it takes off, they're going to be right there at the forefront, and then they will achieve overwhelming success.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that's what Square Enix is banking on. I think they're banking on a losing horse, because this has been two years since NFTs were at their peak, and they're still going. Every other gaming company has pulled back on it. Even Meta, who changed the whole name of the damn company for this whole metaverse thing, even they are pulling back on it. So that's what I mean. Square Enix is like the only, or one of the only actual gaming companies, company that does games, that's still going hard into it, because they want it, or they think it's going to take off, and they want to be at the forefront. Now maybe Square Enix is right, but at the moment I'm just not seeing that, and there's a real not just distrust, but also a complete disinterest from like an actual gamer. Do you remember when we went and we looked at the Twitter account for this Symbiogenesis? And it was all crypto bros. It was just all crypto bros in the comments saying, "Oh wow, this looks amazing. This game." And even some people put their CV on there, like, "Oh, I'd love to be involved. This project seems awesome. I'd love to be involved in it." You know, it was all crypto bros in the comments. So I'm not seeing like the everyday gamer being like even interested in this. Now, apart from just like quote unquote games, Square Enix also did make. Now they wanted a way to sell these NFTs. They made like Final Fantasy VII little statues that came with a little NFT. That's how they were trying to sell an NFT. If I remember correctly, they did that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm gonna look it up. Final Fantasy VII statue. Where's my statue? Statue NFT. Yes, I made that. Yes, look, here this is what they hit. Look, get this off my screen. They introduced NFTs for Final Fantasy VII collectibles. This was back in July 2022. 2 new NFT collectible packages are on the way from Square Enix, including a statue of Cloud with a digital version. So this is what they do. So now, in the stuff we saw here, that's not what they're talking about. They're not talking about these statues. Get this. They seem to be talking about blockchain entertainment games. So I don't think you describe a statue as not strictly entertainment, really. So I think this is what they're still talking about that. And I think they tried these statues and it didn't work because this was back in July 2022, so almost a year ago, and they haven't made any new ones since then. Is there a link to this? They shared. Oh, here, hang on. Is this the? Oh, here's the press release. Okay, so they did this for the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII. This is what they went for, because I said it's only a matter of time before they do it for one of the big IPs, and they did do it. So they made it for. It was a. They called it. Yeah, they said it was it will include a Final Fantasy VII Anniversary Art Digital Museum Card Plus trading cards. That's code for NFT, right? That's Square Enix code for NFT. And a Final Fantasy VII Bring Arts action figure Cloud Strife, standard and digital plus collectible, aka NFT. So how much were they charging for this? So this Cloud Strife was $129 US. So this is an actual. Was this an actual figure? Okay, so it was an actual figure that came with this NFT. It says the collection features over 200 unique designs that can be collected physically and digitally, allowing fans the opportunity to enjoy their cards anywhere, anytime. Each card pack. So here's the thing. This is what I'm talking about. Vinnie Mac, you're still there, right? Is he there?
I'm still here. Yep.
Right. So they made this digital cards, digital collectible cards that went with these statues and stuff. They're saying you get it physically, digitally. Now, tell me why these digital things that they've made, they're art assets, right? That you can view on a computer or smart device or whatever. Why does it need to be tied to NFTs? You could make those without being tied to a blockchain, without being tied to the blockchain. Why does it need to be tied to the blockchain? This is what I'm saying. So where's the utility in that? Where's the benefit of it being tied to the blockchain for these?
I don't have that at the moment.
I
don't see the utility. I don't see that at the utility.
See?
My argument is 10, 15 years in the future.
Oh my god! You're just saying, oh, what if it could be? I'm talking about, look at what Square Enix is. We've got evidence, we can see what Square Enix has done. They thought this was going to make a lot of money. They haven't done this since then. They haven't made any more of these with these digital things on it. This is the only time they did it.
Right, but isn't that the purpose of the blockchain, to limit the amount, so make each
no, but I mean, they didn't say, oh, here's a different figure with the thing, or here's a here's a near one, and it's you can get a 2B with a card. Right? They didn't do that. They only did this one time for these anniversary things, 2 or 3 figures. There's a Cloud Strife, digital. I think it's the same figure but different NFTs or something with it. And it's saying you can, there's wallpapers and things, but you can get. That's what I'm saying. Why is it tied to the blockchain? Why does it need to be on the block? You can literally just make those digital assets, and there's ways you can make them unique without them being tied to a blockchain. Like there are literally this already existing now. There are digital trading card games, like digital versions of either their independent ones or their digital versions of existing ones, like the Pokemon trading card game and Magic the Gathering and so on. Right? They exist already now. They exist right now, and none of those are tied to the blockchain, and they work, and that's how they sell packs of cards, like digital packs of cards, and it's random. It's like a gacha thing. It's like a random thing, right? I mean, like when you buy physical cards, it's kind of random, right? But when you buy the digital packs of cards on these digital trading card games, so that already exists now. And they're not tied to the blockchain. That's what I'm saying. So how does putting them on the blockchain, how does that add anything other than making them like super expensive? Because the NFT just be like, it costs this one's $1 Ethereum. You know how much $1 Ethereum is? It's not £1. Yeah. It's thousands. How much is $1 Ethereum? I'm gonna look it up. They'll say, this will cost you $1 Ethereum. How's Ethereum? Here it is. Ethereum? $1 Ethereum to, I'll do it in dollars. Oh my god. It's $1,770. That's how much $1 Ethereum is. It's not like cheap investment that everyday person can do. Yeah, there'll be some segment of people that are interested in investing and doing this, but like, I don't know, man. That's just my opinion, Vinnie Mac. I'm not saying that, in 10, 15 years, stuff is going to change. It's going to be completely different how it is, because it was, if you look back 10, 15 years, it was different. So in the future, yes, it's going to be completely different. Whether it will be with these NFTs, don't forget, in order for these to be widespread, like ubiquitous in the same way that microtransactions are, like they're not, unlike microtransactions which you are just making out of thin air, it's nothing. You're just creating them, right? These have to be mined on the blockchain. They have warehouses and warehouses and warehouses and warehouses full of computers with a really high, super high end graphics cards that are mining these. That's how it works. So you'd have to have these warehouses and warehouses and warehouses all over the place, using up all the it's so wasteful. In terms of like how much energy it takes to generate these things. That's the situation. In order for these to be ubiquitous, like microtransactions are now, because you have to actually make them. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why I think that the gaming industry would just change the definition of what an NFT is. They may not even use that term. I guess
they might use a different term, because Square Enix used a different term right here. They called it a collectible anniversary digital card plus or whatever, some nonsense.
Right. So they may change what they define as an NFT. I guess in my world, if we're still going to talk about within the gaming world, we're going to try to gamify it. I'm still thinking of Breath of the Wild comes out. The first 10,000 copies that come out have a unique code. They get your special T-shirt. You have that T-shirt, and then you can sell that T-shirt for something else, for some other currency. That's the way I'm thinking that this future of gaming is going to go, where I have X amount of copies of something out. I put in some code. I get an item. That item is uniquely mine. If you want my sword, if you want my shield, my costume, my mask, my earring, whatever, I can sell that to you. I don't know how I make money on that. I don't know if it's going to be in currency, real currency, whatever. But I can sell my item to you, and those items are tracked. That is the way I can see this. That's why I say the definition of what an NFT may change for the gaming world.
Yeah.
But I still see, if they are going to go in that direction, where Final Fantasy 27 comes out, there's a Buster Sword from Final Fantasy 7. The first 100 copies. You get this Buster Sword. So anybody else who comes in later, if you want that Buster Sword, you have to buy that from someone else. And I think that's how that exchange is going to go.
So
I think from what Square is talking about, and also we're talking about keeping this within a video game world, that's the only other way this can work.
Yeah.
So,
So
when Tears of the Kingdom doesn't it come with like a spoon, weapon, or like a ladle weapon within the game?
Oh, you mean in Breath? Oh, yeah. So in Breath of the Wild, you got some sort of ladle or no, it wasn't for Breath of the Wild. They did it for Age of Calamity. You got. How did you get that? I can't even remember. You had to do. Right. Was it a peel the bone? I don't know. They gave you a ladle.
Yeah. So if you want to sell that item, that item, for the purposes of our conversation, we'll just call that an NFT, even though it's not. We'll just call it that. So that is a unique item because there's so many people out there that only have this item, while the vast majority don't. So if I want to get that ladle, I have to purchase that item from somebody else. That's kind of how I see this future of NFTism going, within this blockchain, this train, this gamification of it. That's how I see it going in the future, 10, 15 years, 20 years from now.
So that's what you're describing. That's basically how these companies want it to go, or how they would hope it would go. So you don't have to call it an NFT, because even if you give it a different name and call it digital collectible item, whatever name, you can call it, thingamabobber, it's still working on this same blockchain technology. That's how they're generating these unique codes, right, with blockchain technology. So the thing is, of like having a unique item is, I will say, first of all, it's possible to do that without tying them to the blockchain. They don't have to be tied to the blockchain. But if, let's say, these things were tied to the blockchain, the money would be like, for say like this, maybe something like a Buster Sword, right? They wouldn't be charging like $20 for it. It'd be like $1,000 or something like that. So only a few people would be able to afford something like that. And then when you come to the issue of selling it, now this metaverse that some companies have just like envisioned, they're kind of made up. They'd be like, they're envisioning that you're going to be able to sell it between platforms. Like, oh, you bought this on the Meta Quest, 25, and you'll be able to play it. You'll be able to play it in a game on a PlayStation 20. You see what I mean? It's something like that. But then that sort of thing requires these companies all cooperating, and the fact that trying to take one item from one game and then trying to put it in a completely different game, that part is like, game development doesn't even work like that now, where you can just do that. So there's the stuff going between like completely different platforms. I'm not sure about that. Maybe within the same company, maybe maybe Square Enix, like their games, you can all interconnect together and do things like that. So I can see something like that within the same company. Whether the different companies will cooperate with, they don't cooperate with each other now in that way. So I don't know. I just don't see it happening. But let's just say that within the same company, it's still going to be an elite few who can afford like this unique. Say you said there was 1,000 Buster Swords or something like that. They'd be like, okay, yeah, so that'd be 20 Ethereum, whatever 20 Ethereum is going to be worth in the future. It'd be something like that. It's not going to be, in my opinion, I should say it's in my opinion, obviously, it's speculation, that only a few can afford. Are you there?
Yes, only a few will be able to afford that. So, but that's all I wanted to say about that particular subject. I just wanted to push back a little bit, because we all see this conversation going on a lot, and I think that we are looking at it from our generation of gaming.
Yeah.
And I think within the next generation of gaming, when our grandkids are gaming, it's just going to be a completely different landscape with completely different rules. Yeah. So we are arguing over 30 frames and 60 frames, and they're going to be arguing over, I don't know, 200 to 300 frames a second. So,
well, when it gets to that much, it's completely
a completely different experience. So I can see why, at least like a Square Enix, who's at least upfront with it. I can see why other companies maybe sort of talking about investing in, behind the scenes, just seeing where it can go.
Yeah. Thank you. No, I do like it when you come on and like give a different opinion, a perspective, because I don't want to just listen to people that just agree with me all the time. So,
I was going to debate with you about our conversation that we had about legacy IPs, but you may be running out of time, so you may have to push that to another day.
I have unfortunately run out of time because we have been live for, let me check, almost 3 hours. And Benji Cells is going live in probably like 15 minutes or something.
All right. Well, as always, it's been fun.
So
Enjoy your
yeah,
Zelda day, and we'll chat again next week.
thanks a lot. Yeah, and thanks for coming on the show, Vinny Mac. Always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for putting this together. I know it takes a lot of effort, and we do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. It means a lot to me.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Okay, let's finish off by looking at. I believe Kike sent me a summary. Where is it? Kike, I'm going to look for the summary you sent me. Okay, so you found a summary on reset error that says this. Oh, let's get rid of this. Their sales are down. So the net sales are down by. This is very, very small. Let me try and make this bigger for you. Yeah. The net sales are down by 6%. Operating profit down by 25.2%. Good Lord, Square Enix. Sales and profit are still down, but it's Square Enix's second and third best year respectively. They're forecasting for 2024 net sales of 360 billion yen, which would be plus 4.9%, and operating profit of 55 billion yen, that would be plus 24.1%. You know, I hope they can hit it, and just not have flop after flop. Or these don't. But here's a tip, Square Enix: don't release 20 games within 6 weeks of each other. How about that? How about that, Square Enix? And then yeah, here's the same sort of graph we saw before, where their profits are down, and yeah, we saw this. So spoiler, future. This is so funny. Whoever made this, the head to the blockchain stuff. They hid it in a spoiler and put like the emoji with like a sick face. That's so funny. Yeah, we saw this. Considers acquisitions and creating new studios. Interesting. Yeah, just ignore the fact that they literally just disbanded a studio and just sold off a load. Don't look over there. Don't look over there. Look over here where we're gonna create new studios and buy new studios. That makes perfect sense. Oh my god. So yeah, Square Enix overall net sales and operating profit are down, but they are saying their forecast is that it's going to be up, or they want it to be up, for the next financial year. So I feel like we've covered all of the topics today. We're going to go into some of the stuff that we couldn't talk about in like super detail. We'll talk about in the next show. As Vinnie Mac says, there was the whole thing about legacy IP, which was like a kind of discussion we were having in the Discord, and I wanted Vinnie Mac to come on, but we have quite run out of time because I can't go super long for the shows, because it's quite draining on me with like my health issues and stuff like that to do super long shows. But this has been fine. I've managed to keep it a bit shorter this week. So thank you, Vinnie Mac, for coming on and joining me. Hi, Dank. Hi, actually I'm ending now, but you can listen to the archive VOD, which I think you can even just like, I believe you can rewind the live stream as well, so you can check that out. Unfortunately, I do a pre-show, Dank, which I don't know if you've ever joined that. I do a pre-show normally before the show. Around an hour before the show, I'll do a pre-show in the Discord. That's just where I'm preparing the show, and I just decided to stream the preparation because it's boring just me sitting there by myself. So I just talk to people whilst I'm doing it. So maybe next time you can join. I know I believe you're in the States, so the time difference is a bit wonky. But yeah, I'm gonna try and sort some, or maybe try different time frames for the show. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to sort of experiment with that. Now we're going to bring back the Zelda Lo-Fi as we end the show. I don't know what one this is. Cass's theme. Oh wait, I remember Cass's theme. Cass's from Breath of the Wild, isn't it? I vaguely remember this. isn't it? From Breath of the Wild. Okay. Finished off. Most replayed. Why is this one the most replayed? What is that? Vivali's Fame? Is this that's the most replayed? Let's have a listen. Why is that one the most replayed? Oh, it's pretty good. This is Vivali's Fame. So we're going to close out with that. Thank you everyone who joined me today. I don't know if you can even hear me, this is quite loud. Finny Mac, David Cast JRPGs. Is it too loud? Take that type bit. It's loud in my ear holes. Yeah, David Cast JRPGs, J2 Blue, Ethan Jory, Marcy Mousy. Thank you very much, Finny Mac, and Dank Meme Center. Dank Meme says, no worries, was time occupied trying to snap my collector's edition. Oh, you got it! Now that's resolved updated. Congratulations, a tad bit. Congratulations on getting your collector. You managed to get it today? Or did you pre-order it from before? Well, congratulations either way on getting that. Not necessarily easy to get hold of. I didn't manage to get the I got the collector's edition. I didn't get the Pro Controller. Thank you also to Jago who joined you, Keycare. Spencer from the S&T Network was here for a little while, and probably someone else that I'm forgetting. If I've forgotten, I apologise. But thank you everyone. It's been a really great show. Are you have to wait until next week to get your collector's edition? It's outrageous. So wait, are you just gonna wait, Dank Meme Center? You're not gonna play the game until then? Until next week? Or you got yourself a digital copy or something? You can't wait. I don't know. You're gonna wait that long? That's long. I'll be furious. But I guess at least you're getting it. Things like that irritate me. Did it get lost in the post or something? But anyway. Oh, you're gonna wait. Okay. Yeah, you can play some. If like me, you didn't play the Breath of the Wild DLC because you were dumb and you just left it sitting there for years. You didn't play it. You bought it but didn't play it. So yeah, I'm gonna be playing that this weekend, the DLC, and then immediately after I'm gonna start Tears of the Kingdom. I wanted to start the DLC earlier this week, but I got caught up with some other stuff and I wasn't able to do it. So thank you very much everyone, and I have a stream, and here we go. Stream is ending stream. Thank you everyone, and please don't forget to join the Discord. I'll drop the link one more time. Copy link into here. So don't forget to join the Discord, where you can call into the main show when we're live. You can join the pre-show and watch the pre-show and interact in our fun and friendly sales community, where we just nerd out and talk about sales and nerdy sales stuff, video game sales, because we're just nerds and we want to do it. So thanks everyone, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.